extra time.
সত্যি জীবন গড়ে দেয়।
To the South African bowlers, do you think in general maybe they were a bit too short?
There's something to look into, but I think if you look at his first 3 wickets, it was slow balls. And unfortunately, we, at that point in time, including myself, were trying to be aggressive and trying to look for the boundary. Came down to the execution of the shot. But he's a skillful bowler and he's been around in this kind of format for a long period of time, and he's been successful in this format. And the type of bowler he is, he's best suited when he's pitching the ball up and using his bag of tricks in terms of this format.
This is the last for JP.
JP, so like you said, that it's the batting that failed, and it's a lot of the senior batsmen that haven't been stepping up. I mean,
correct.
In the previous ODI series as well, we saw Andy Klassen do really well, and you guys coming in and really expressing themselves. What can you as a senior player learn from them?
Just to be free and to go and play your game and stick to your game plans. At the end of the day, everybody has a particular game plan, and it's either going to come off or it's not. You're going to go through periods in your career where you're going to go through slumps, be it a senior player or a new player. And unfortunately, throughout the series, quite a few senior players have come up short, and including myself, it's been a dismal ODI series, and obviously today as well. So again, you've got to find a way to get back up on your feet and try and fire again on Wednesday. That's all you can do at this level. You don't have a lot of place to hide. You got to front up to it and understand that you got to step up and try and put in those big performances that you can do.
Can you give us some insight into the game plan?
Whose game plan?
On the senior players and how you guys are going to...
Everybody's different. According to the bowler that you're going to be facing, everybody has strengths and weaknesses. Everybody's going to back their strengths, and there are going to be times where your strength is going to get you out, especially in this format. And as I mentioned, there are going to be times when you can go through slumps, and a lot of us are finding ourselves in that, unfortunately, at the same time. And the way India have played and they've dominated us throughout the series, a lot of their players have stepped up, senior players have stepped up and put in those big performances.
James, obviously hard to digest this one, but what would you put it down to, especially the idea to go short up front to the guys who've played that short ball so well from the Test series until now?
To be honest, I don't think they have played it very well. Look, it's going to come down to execution of our skills, right? So if we execute a plan well, it's potentially going to work. But unfortunately, at times with our plans in place, we didn't execute as well as we have liked. I still believe and feel that the plans are good, but especially when it's a shorter format, you have to execute well. But no fault to them. I mean, we tried. Unfortunately, a few missed opportunities throughout the innings, but we'll definitely come back stronger. I firmly believe that.
There just seems to be a lack of commitment from the guys at some stage or one way or the other. Their heads are dropping, body language from the field, it's visible when you're standing from afar.
Well, look, at the end of the day, you guys are going to have that opinion. I honestly don't believe that we are dropping our heads, our body language is bad. I honestly believe we were pretty good in the field today, bar the missed opportunities. Look, naturally, when you put down opportunities, there's going to be some sort of moping around, and you got to try and get yourself back up as quickly as possible, especially in a big game like that, a big player as Virat Kohli. So you're gonna feel a bit down, and I think it's only natural as a human being to feel that way. But in professional sport, you got to find a way to get back up. And I thought, within a few balls, we certainly did, and we stuck to our plans in terms of what we're trying to do. Again, it comes down to execution. So that's something we can improve on. At this venue, as you mentioned, a pretty good pitch. If you look back to where they were at 8 overs, they were 100 after 8 overs. So at that point in time, you're probably looking at 220, 240. And I thought the way the guys came back was exceptional. So I was pretty happy with chasing 204. Again, unfortunately, from a batting perspective, that's been our Achilles heel throughout this Indian tour from a short format point of view. So again, as senior players, we have to take responsibility for that. As senior batters, we have to take responsibility for that, and we got to look at ourselves in the mirror and see how can we improve and how can we be better. So hopefully we can improve that come Wednesday.
It's Jet.
JP, just can you take us into what the bowling plan is, particularly early on in our run, and did you feel that your guys executed?
To some extent, yes. Look, the plan was always to try and take wickets. You know, I was pretty happy if they had 60 or 70 after 6 overs, but at least we had 2 or 3 wickets down. I felt if we were in that kind of position, I felt we were in a strong position, especially at a venue like this. And I thought I think they were 70 for 2 after 6, so I wasn't too unhappy. Again, the mindset and the plan was an aggressive one and trying to take wickets. And with that, there are going to be times where you're going to leak a few boundaries. And, you know, that was the kind of mindset and chat that we had out in the middle.
In terms of lines and lengths,
yes.
So India got something specific, which was about keeping it relatively spread, keeping it off. Where was South Africa's plan in that respect?
Again, they executed very well in their plans. Our plans might have been slightly different according to their batters. Again, you know, where we've come short is probably assessing conditions as quickly as possible. Again, that was our plan. If you look back to how Rohit got out, that was a plan that we put together, and it came off. Against other batters, yes, we leaked a bit. But again, India, they're very simple in their game plans and they execute very well. You know, we're trying to find something where that we can adopt and understand what's going to work for us on these kind of conditions against their players. And unfortunately, at times we haven't executed. But again, you know, I think we're moving in the right direction in terms of execution.
To execute that plan.
So were you referring to experience?
The two inexperienced opening bowlers.
Oh, inexperienced. Look, at the end of the day, yes, they're inexperienced in terms of international cricket, but they're very much experienced in terms of domestic cricket and what they've done at that level. I think, you know, in terms of their standard for themselves, they've got a high standard in terms of their execution plan, and by no means am I blaming that, right? At the end of the day, you know, as I mentioned earlier, the batting has probably been our main Achilles heel throughout the series, and that's something that we have to take on board. Especially in a format like this, you're going to leak runs at times. So even though we went for 200, as you mentioned, the way we started and the way we came back, there's lots of positives to take out of it.
Could you have changed that midway, like third 3 overs, and could you have changed and got that lead?
In hindsight, there's always that. If it had worked, we wouldn't be having this conversation now. So, but yes, there's something to look into, you know, for Wednesday, definitely.
Yes, Crystal.
Kevin, what are your thoughts on what was your thoughts when that 4th wicket stand and these guys wrong?
Yeah, they gave us a chance in the game, and you know, especially in this format, we know that wickets in hand, you give yourself the best chance to win the game. Unfortunately, you know, in an ideal world, we'd like to have extended that partnership, but again, you look at the situation of the game, we probably needed about 14-15 runs and over, so they needed to up the ante and they needed to take the game forward. Unfortunately, again, never came off, but I was very proud of the way they went about it. I mean, to see Reza playing a handful of games and the way he performed under pressure was exceptional, and you know, those are the kind of positives that you want to take out of it, and us as players and teammates want to feed off that kind of positiveness. So hopefully we can take that into the next game.
লেটেস্ট নিউজ আর এক্সক্লুসিভ ভিডিওর সঙ্গে আপডেট থাকতে এখনই সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন আমাদের ইউটিউব চ্যানেল। বেল আইকনে ক্লিক করতে ভুলবেন না যেন।